Hey guys, welcome back to Wild West Woodscraft. I'm Trevor, and what I thought I'd do today is I'd show you a quick, easy recipe you can make in the backcountry when you want something more than just your standard off-the-shelf meals, and you want something hearty that if you're going out with a group or even by yourself, makes a great meal. This isn't something that's shelf stable, so you can't carry it out for a multi-day trip and then make it. It has to be maybe like your first meal, or if you're just going on an overnighter. But it's something in the winter you could carry it because you keep it cold. The ingredients you need for it is just a bag of chopped up vegetables. In this case I have a couple potatoes, onions, carrots. You could do celery, you could do whatever vegetables you enjoy. I have a bag of just general purpose flour, a bison chunk roast. This could be any kind of roast, really any meat. That's more than I'll need, but I brought the whole thing because you can always eat more meat. And then just a package of bacon. And the only other thing is some salt. This is a salt horn I made. And with this, you can make a really hearty stew. You could make bread if you wanted to, but I'm not going to show that today. I'm just going to make it into a stew. Something that will give you plenty of fat and carbs for the night and replenish you even with your salt content after a long day of hiking around like I've been doing today. So as far as cooking utensils, you just need a pot. Depending on how much you're going to make, how big your group is depends on the size of pot. This one's just a bit bigger than your standard nesting cup size that would go on your bottle. And then it's helpful to have a lid to keep the ashes and soot. It's not required, but it is helpful. This is just a fry pan that fits on top of my pot. A spoon, and then obviously you'll need some water, which I have in my canteen here. So to make it, it's super simple. I usually fill the pot with about half full of water. See if I can get through this whole thing, balancing all this stuff on the log. This doesn't have to be disinfected water. It could just be water out of the creek or pond, because you're going to be boiling it and that will purify it. So, starting off, I usually put the vegetables in first because that's what's going to take longest to cook. You could bring whole vegetables and chop them up. I chop them up ahead of time. So once you put the vegetables, I will put a little bit of salt in. If I can get it open, there we go. Just a little bit of salt. You can salt to taste. Put the lid on. I'm going to go ahead and put this over the coals in the fire so it can start cooking. You don't want to put it directly over the flames because it'll burn it. But if you just put it in the coals, it will start to cook and start softening up those vegetables. Then while I'm waiting, I can go ahead and get my roast ready. So for this, I usually, obviously the smaller the pieces, faster it'll cook, but I will usually chop it up into big enough pieces that you can actually taste the meat when you're eating it. So I'll go ahead and set the roast down, get rid of this. As far as when you're dealing with raw meat in the woods, you want to make sure that you clean your hands afterwards. You don't want to get sick out here. I don't really mess with chicken all that much because it's the worst. Red meat, not a huge issue, at least in my experience. And I'm just going to cut this up into chunks, good bite-sized pieces. You could use steak, you could use fish, rabbit, really whatever game or meat you prefer. I really enjoy bison. So that's what I brought out today. And I had some in my freezer I needed to use up. So that should be a good amount there. I'll go ahead and put the rest back in the bag, and I can eat it later. Yeah, put some more wood on the fire and then I'll get back with you. Obviously pine is not the preferred wood to cook with. In the area I'm at, it's all I got. Pine and spruce. So I have no choice but to use it, and it works. I mean, yeah, maybe it affects the taste of the food a little bit and it burns super quick so you don't get a lot of good coals, but I don't mind. So then, moving on from the roast, I just had bacon, and can't go wrong with bacon. And this will help add the fat content that I need to help keep my body warm throughout the night and give it some flavor. Otherwise this would be a pretty bland meal. So as far as the bacon goes, again, I cut it up, not into super small pieces. I like chunks. I like feeling like I'm actually eating something, not drinking it. And a lot of that fat will render down off of it once it goes in the pot, so pieces will shrink. These portions are determined off of how much you feel like eating. Nice thing is with something like this, if you make it for dinner, you can eat what you can, set the pot away from camp. I hang it in a tree or something so that way rodents can't get to it, but you don't want to sleep with it right next to your head. That's a good bear bait. Then the next morning for breakfast you can get it and eat it again. If it's winter, just stick it in the snow. But once those vegetables start to render down and get soft, I'll throw the meat in, and I'll bring you guys back when it's ready for that. I'll go ahead and add the meat now that the water's to a boil and the vegetables have been cooking for a while. Let's see if all this fits. Then I'll add a little bit more salt while I'm at it. Put the lid back on and let it keep cooking. I'm down to coals now. I don't want to add any more wood because I don't want it to boil over, so I really just want to kind of slow cook it. I don't have set times to do all this. It's really just however long it needs. Not a super professional cooking show, but I thought you guys would enjoy seeing a couple of the recipes that I use when I'm out in the backcountry. They're easy, they're quick, but they taste good, and it's better than just living off of peanut butter, which isn't bad. Some of them are with wild game. I'll be showing those in later videos. But this was, I had all the ingredients for this one, and it's one that I enjoy. So, it's loosely based off of the fat pots that I've had at the survival courses I've gone to with the Great Bearded Great Beret. But there's a lot of differences, but it's kind of loosely based on that. I got the idea from that. So I'll let that keep cooking. Here in a little bit, we'll add the flour to thicken it up. Alright, it's been simmering for a while now, and the vegetables are soft enough for my taste. Basically, all you're trying to do, because the meat's been cooked for a while, is soften the vegetables up to the point where you like them. I like mine a little bit crunchy, but soft enough that they taste cooked. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and grab the flour, and this will just thicken it up and make it kind of like a gravy. You could add water to this and mix it together and make like little dumplings and put it in there, but to make it easy, I'm just going to pour the flour in. The reason I add the flour last is it thickens it up a lot, and it makes it harder to stir, and you don't want that to get stuck on the bottom because it'll burn. Another thing you can do is, because my lid's a little skillet, I could put some of that bacon in there first and grease it, and then add flour and water in there and make a little like pancake style over the coals. Or you could just throw that patty directly on the coals, but it's a kind of a mess, like it gets your hands all doughy. So this is the most efficient and hassle-free way of doing it, and it adds a lot of the benefit of the flour with the starches and the carbs just into your stew, and it makes it thicker and more of a gravy. So we'll let this sit for a little bit longer, stirring it periodically, and then it'll be ready to eat. I'd say that's done. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off the fire. Let it start cooling down a little bit, because it's way too hot to eat now. And I'm gonna blow this back into flame, and what I'm gonna do is go ahead and burn all my trash. This isn't really something I hear talked about a lot, but with cooking like this, and then throughout the day I've had wrappers from bars and the foods that I've eaten, and I don't like carrying that trash around, especially on longer trips. It adds weight to your pack, and it's just, a lot of it's messy. So I'm going to go ahead and burn it, and so that way it gets rid of it, doesn't leave any sign. And you don't want to do that while you're cooking, because you don't want the plastics to get melted into your food or the smoke. But I'm going to go ahead and kindle this back into flame, burn my trash for the day, so that way it's less mess. And I just go ahead and tuck it under the wood, so that way it can't blow away. And let it melt. And I'll do the same thing with the wrappers and stuff from the food that I've eaten today. It's a very efficient way to get rid of your waste, the leftovers from your food, without attracting animals. So, fire is free, you might as well use it. Now I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my food. Show you guys what it looks like. So I don't know if you guys can see that there. But you can see it's kind of a thick, that flour really added some thickness to it. The meat's cooked through, it's nice and brown. All mixed together, and the bacon added a nice flavor to it. So it's a great hearty stew that you can eat. It's quick, easy to make. That took about, I'd say about an hour to cook. And it's something different besides your shelf-stable foods. So next time you're on a trip, you can give this a try. I'm gonna go ahead and sit down and enjoy this. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. That's pretty good.